Good morning, church. Happy New Year to you guys. I'm going to open up with reading a verse of what Paul, the Apostle Paul, has to say when it comes to marriage. I want you guys to pay close attention. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 28. This is what Paul says. If you do marry, you have not sinned. And a betrothed woman marries, she has not sinned. Yet those who marry will have worldly troubles. And I would spare you that. The word here, troubles, in Greek is phlipsis, which literally means persecution. Which, listen, literally means suffering. Married couples, did you just hear what Paul wrote? If you're married, you're going to suffer. Those of you that are single and one day want to be married, did you hear what Paul just said? If you marry, you will have worldly troubles. I don't know if we can get any more clearer than that. So let's close in prayer. But seriously, guys, marriage is not a bad thing. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Just in a little bit of context, what Paul was saying here, he was writing to a church in Corinth where there was a lot of persecution. So what he was saying was, look, if you're single, you're going to be persecuted. And that's going to hurt. You're going to suffer. Imagine if you're married and you see your spouse being persecuted. It's going to hurt more. That's what he was saying. Because marriage is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. And marriage isn't the problem. It's the people in the marriage that makes it a problem. It's the sinners in the marriage that cause problems in a marriage. When one sinner is living by himself or herself, he has to deal with his own sin. But imagine when two sinners say, I do, now they have to deal with one another's sins. And again, marriage is a beautiful, beautiful thing when it's done properly in a godly manner. Today we continue our series that we've entitled Reset. And if you were with us last week, we saw how we can better ourselves in 2025 by resetting our finances. Next week, we're going to see how we can better ourselves, how we can reset, how we can be different in 2025 when it comes to our parenting. And today's a very special message for me because I really love to see marriage blossoms. Today we're going to see what it looks like to have a godly marriage, how we could reset our marriages when it comes to this new year, how we can revive them, how we can make them to honor God. Now, my beautiful wife, CJ, and I have been married for 26 years. Thank you very much. We've got two wonderful boys. Our oldest is 24. Our youngest is 20. And let me just say this. Our marriage is by no means perfect. Far from it. But I really love my wife. And we really love our marriage. And we work on it. I kid you not. We try to work on it every single day. I want to open up with a song by this country singer, Michael Montgomery. And those of you that like country music, as I do, will recognize this song. He says this, I like the way your eyes dance when you laugh, and how you enjoy your 2-hour bath, and how you convince me to dance in the rain with everyone watching like we were insane. But I love the way you love me. Now, isn't this true when a couple is courting one another, dating, when a couple is engaged? Everything seems to be wonderful. Every day is just beautiful. The guy loves the way her eye dances when she laughs. He has no problem with her taking a long time to get ready. They always want to talk to one another daily. They're on the phone saying, no, I'm not going to hang up. You hang up. No, you hang up. No, I'm not going to hang up. Nothing can go wrong. They're spontaneous. They date. They do crazy things like dance in the rain. Nothing bothers one another. She says to him, I love the way you do these things. You look so cute. Ay, gordo. But then something happens. Something happens, and unfortunately, that something is marriage. It's no longer like saying, ay, how cute, ay, gordo. It's like, ay, como me caes gordo. It's no longer like, I want to talk to you every day. It's like, I'm not going to talk to you all day. It's no longer, I love the way her eyes dance when she laughs. It's like, why do her eyes do that when she's laughing? It's no longer, you take your 2-hour bath. It's like, hurry up, woman, we're going to be late. It's no longer, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. It's hanging up on one another. Why, church? Why is it that when two people say I do, things changes? No longer doing spontaneous, fun things like dancing in the rain. I see it way too many times that married couples, a man and a woman in marriage, become roommates. They do life together, pay bills together, just raise up their children together. What happens, church, is way too many times marriages become contracts. It's a competition with each other. And marriage should not be a competition with each other. Marriage, we should complement one another. And what do I mean by a competition? Is like, well, I get home because I'm working all day long and you need to cook me some supper, woman. I deserve it. The woman is like, well, I'm here all day long with the children and I want you to help me with this when you get home. And then you do this and you're doing it wrong. Competition. Contract. Does any of this sound familiar in your marriage? Church, a marriage is not a contract. A marriage is a commitment. And more specifically, marriage is a covenant that commits to an unconditional love. Let me say that again. A marriage is a covenant that commits to an unconditional love. A marriage should glorify God. And a marriage that glorifies God is a commitment, not a contract. A marriage that glorifies God is loving your spouse not because of what they do. It's loving your spouse in spite of what they do. Marriage is a covenant that commits to an unconditional love. Marriage is committing to show grace to one another, not hold grudges against each other. Marriage is committing to not focus on each other's faults. Listen, marriage is committing, listen closely. Marriage is committing to forgive one another. As God has forgiven you through the sacrifice of his son, Jesus Christ. I'm going to say it again. Marriage is committing to forgive one another. If you call yourself a Christian, if you are a Christ follower, forgiveness is not an option. You need to commit to forgive one another in your marriage. What I want us to do for the rest of our time together this morning is I want us to look at two things that could help us in our marriage. I want us to look at the what and the how. What is unconditional love and how to demonstrate unconditional love. The what and the how. Before we jump into these two things, I want you to repeat this out loud with me. The affection in my marriage determines the direction of my marriage. Say that out loud. The affection in my marriage determines the direction of my marriage. How you treat each other, how you talk to each other, how you love one another will affect the direction of your marriage. Feel that. I want you to understand that if you're married or one day you plan on getting married, it all depends on you. And you need to work on your marriage every single day. So let's begin with the what. What is unconditional love? I believe Paul defines this type of love best in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Most of you are familiar with these verses, the love chapter. He says this, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist in its own ways. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with truth. Love bears all things. Love believes all things, hopes all things. Love endures all things. So what is unconditional love? I want to summarize what Paul just said into two categories to keep it simple and basic. First, unconditional love is, as Paul says, patient and kind. Unconditional love is always being considerate in the way you act towards one another. Listen, unconditional love is being considered in the way you speak to one another. So let me off the bat just ask you, how is it that you are acting towards one another in your marriage right now? How is it that you are speaking towards one another in your marriage right now? Are you being patient and kind? Let me ask you men directly. Are you honoring your wives? Does your conduct, do your words honor your wives? 1 Peter 3:7 says this, likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel. Why? Since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. Gentlemen, listen closely to what I'm about to tell you. Pay close attention. You are married to the daughter of the King of Kings. Your wife is a princess. And did you notice? There are consequences if we do not honor our wives. Peter says that our prayers may be hindered. This is the way I picture it. You go to God and you're asking God, God, help me with my job. I need this promotion. You know I do. And God is saying to you in your prayers, espérame, whoa. Don't come to me with your petition. Are you honoring my daughter? Go honor my daughter the way I've asked you to honor her. And then come to me with your requests. Ladies, how are you treating your husbands? Are you being patient and kind? Or do you complain and scold them all the time? Proverbs 25:24 says this, it is better to live in a corner of the housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. Ladies, pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Listen closely. You married your husband, not your child. Some of you are treating your husband like he's your child. And I'll be honest, we are children. We just grow up. But that doesn't mean that you scold us. Encourage your husband. Encourage them. Don't crush them. Listen, ladies, we as husbands are trying to prove ourselves daily. We step into our battlefields every day. Temptations surround us. We go to work trying to be the best men we can possibly be. The last thing any man wants is to come home to a scolding, nagging wife. A house should be a safe haven, not a battlefield. Ladies, if you're wondering why your husband spends hours upon hours at work or travels all the time because of work, maybe is that he feels more respected at work than he does at home. Let me ask both of you, couples, married couples, how do you speak to each other? Do you yell at each other? During conflicts, do you cuss at one another? I hear it in marriage counseling all the time that I'm just so saddened to hear the way that a married man and a married woman speak to each other. Wow. You know, there's a saying that says, sticks and stones may hurt my bones, but words would never hurt me. That's nonsense. See, if you throw a stick or a stone to someone, it's going to bruise, and the bruise will heal. But a word, man, a word is out there. You could never bring it back. A word sticks with you forever. Man, if you are yelling at your wives, if you are belittling them, if you are cussing at them, you're not being a man. You're being a coward. You're not honoring your wives as a weaker vessel. A woman can't take it like a man can. So next time you want to yell at your wife, go to your local bar, find the biggest, baddest guy you can see, and yell at him. And then send me pictures afterwards, because I really like to see them. Unconditional love is also selfless, and endures all. Selfless and endures all. Paul says in Philippians 2, he says this, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. Unconditional love is putting each other's needs before yours. It's serving one another. It's sharing responsibility. It's meeting each other's needs and expectations. Again, it's not a competition. It's a compliment. And then lastly, Paul says that unconditional love endures all things. That word all, I don't care what language you say it or interpret it or translate it. It means all. Listen, church, if you get nothing else from today's message, don't miss this. Divorce should not be an option. Stop threatening each other by saying you're leaving, you're quitting, you're going to divorce, I'm out of here. Nonsense. Nonsense. Do not quit on your marriage. That word endure is the same word that the author of Hebrew uses when he's talking about Jesus is enduring the cross as he's going to be crucified. So could you picture with me just a second? Jesus is carrying this heavy, heavy cross on his shoulder after being beaten all night long, suffering, weak, and yet he's carrying the cross, enduring the pain. He's walking, and Jesus didn't say, I'm done. I quit. He could have. He could have said, why am I doing this? For the people that are mocking me, that are yelling at me, that are spitting on me. He endured the cross. Do you know why? Unconditional, perfect love. So that is the what. In a nutshell, that is the what to what is unconditional love. Now the how. How to demonstrate unconditional love. I want to get practical, very practical, and I'm going to share with you 3 practical things that we can do towards each other to show each other unconditional love. Men, I would suggest you take notes. Don't say, I'll remember. If anything, pretend to take notes. Score some brownie points with your spouse, all right? Here they are. I read them somewhere, and I thought, man, these are really, really good. So here they are. When you think of something nice, say it. When you think of something special, do it. And if you want things to change it. Say this out loud with me. Say it, do it, change it. Say it. What do I mean? When you think of something nice, say it. Hebrews 3:13 says this, but encourage one another every day, as long as it is called today, that none of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. Listen, how many times have you thought of something nice about your spouse, but you don't say a single thing to them? When you think of something bad, man, the whole world knows about it. I can't believe she acts this way. I can't believe he's not doing this. No one can quiet you up. But when you think of something nice, nobody knows about it. What I fell in love most the first time I saw my wife CJ were her beautiful eyes. beautiful green eyes. And I thought to myself, wow, look at those eyes. She tells me that the first thing she thought to herself when she first met me was like, wow, he's so conceited. She still has beautiful eyes, and I'm still a little conceited. But now I try to do this as often as I can. When she's ready coming down the stairs and I look into those same beautiful eyes, I tell her, wow, you look really pretty. You look really nice today. Song of Solomon says this in chapter 1, verse 15. Behold, you are beautiful, my love. Behold, you are beautiful. Your eyes are doves. No, man, I don't suggest you tell your wife that she has dove eyes. Don't do that. Have you seen the way they look? Anyways, just a suggestion. But seriously, when was the last time you men told your wife that she was beautiful? When was the last time you said, man, you look really, really pretty today? Listen, guys, if you're taking notes, which I hope you are, I want you to ask yourselves every single day, how did I make my wife feel loved today? And if you haven't yet, do it every day. Ladies, when was the last time you told your husbands that you respected them, that you admired them? Ladies, when was the last time you told your husbands, thank you? Thank you for the hard work that you do. Thank you for trying to be the best provider and protector of the family. Thank you that we feel secure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have you ever told your husband that you respected them? That you're proud of them, of what they do? Ephesians 5:33 says this, however, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. Ladies, if you're taking notes, write this down. Ask yourselves every single day, how did I make my husband feel respected today? And if you haven't, do it. When you think of something nice, say it. Number 2, when you think of something special, do it. If you think to yourself, man, husbands, if you're thinking, man, it'd be really cool if we went to the movies together, my wife and I, do it. Ladies, if you think to yourselves, man, it'd be really cool, my husband gets here and I'm going to go give him a big hug and I'm going to ask him to go for a walk, do it. If you think of something special, do it. Again, why is it that once a couple gets married, they stop dating each other? Why do we just become roommates most of the time? And I'm going to speak about this next week in more detail. Your children are not your priority. Your spouse is. It's God and then your spouse. Many marriages focus on their children. I want my child to be football, basketball, dance, cheerleading, all these things. Stop it. It's your spouse. What happens way too many times is we focus too much on our children. And once our children are gone, we're like looking at each other like, and who are you? And who are you? You right now who have children at home, you need to be planning for them to leave. Because honestly, empty nesting is great. But if you're not preparing yourselves now, when they leave, your marriage will come spiraling down because the center, the focus of your marriage was not each other, it was your children. You need to keep on pursuing one another, wanting to be with one another, miss one another when they're not there. Song of Solomon 6:1 says this, where has your beloved gone, O most beautiful among women? Where has your beloved turned that we may seek him with you? Listen, gentlemen, I'm going to put this on you. You take the lead because you are the leaders of the household. Date your wives. Plan date nights. My wife and I take the lead on this most of the time. We have 2 date nights a week. Whatever it is. Watch a movie together. And when you're watching a movie, put your phones down. Focus on the movie at least. And it doesn't have to be something extravagant. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money. Just be there in your presence. Don't talk about work. Don't talk about your children. Just talk about you and your marriage. Man, be creative. Don't be boring. There's such a thing called Google date nights. That's what I do. There's books upon books of what you can do. One of the greatest things my wife and I did 2 times, and it was a whole month of dating every single night. It's a great book. I recommend it. Husband in Pursuit, Wife in Pursuit. Pursue one another. Don't stop dating. Be spontaneous. Get out and dance in the rain. Talk to them. Men, tell them your struggles. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Some of you are thinking, man, but we need to get childcare. I guarantee that you would find childcare for an event that was important to you. Listen, dating should be the most important thing to you. Find childcare. Do nice things for your wife, gentlemen. Text them. Once in a while, say, hey, I'm thinking of you. I love you. I can't wait to see you, my little bunny face. Whatever you call them. Open the door for them. Hold hands. Man, I double dog dare you to start doing this. Every time you leave to work, kiss your wife for 6 seconds. Someone went, ooh, 6 seconds. When you think of something special, do it. Ladies, 2 of the best ways to show your husband respect is to do things with him that he enjoys doing. It's called shoulder to shoulder. If he enjoys fishing, go fishing with him. I don't care if you think it's boring. If he likes to exercise, go exercise with him. If he likes to play golf, go play golf with him. If he likes sports, sit next to him. Don't say a word, but sit next to him as he's watching sports. I know most of you men like to grill. Ladies, come hang out with us. Just be there. Encourage us. The second thing is that the second thing you can do is to support your husband. Let him lead. Listen, let him lead. Listen, let him lead. He's going to fail. Yes, absolutely he's going to fail. But when he does, pick him up. Inspire him. Don't disable him. Dream with him. Don't crush his dreams. Song of Solomon 1:9 says this, I compare you, my love, to a mare among Pharaoh's chariots. Man, again, I don't suggest you compare your wife to a female horse. Don't do that. But what's going on here is that back in ancient times, when a king, when a warrior went out to battle, he'd ride on his chariot and he'd get his best stallions to push him forward into battle. And that was his baddest, meanest, strongest stallion. And so he was going strong, but the king, the warrior, would put his mare next to him. Why? So when that stallion was going as fast as he could, he'd look next to him and say, hey, there's my woman. I'm going to go stronger and faster. In the same way, be beside your man so he can go stronger and faster for you. Support him. Be his biggest cheerleader. Your husbands, listen, ladies, your husbands don't want to fail you. We don't. We want to be the best providers and the best protectors, the best stallions we can be. But we need that encouragement now more than ever. When you think of something nice, say it. When you think of something special, do it. And if you want things to change, change it. Again, out loud, say it with me. Say it, do it, change it. Romans 12:2 says this, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Your marriage should not adapt to this world. This world does not know what a marriage should look like. Your marriage should be different. your marriage should glorify God. So men, you want to see a change in your wife? You change. Renew your mind and ask God to help you change. Change in the manner that you love your wife. Commit yourself to loving your wife daily with unconditional love. Man, you want your marriage to change? You change. It begins with you as the leaders of the household. A marriage that glorifies God begins with you. Man, repeat this out loud with me. It starts with me. I can't hear you, man. I need to change. Let me hear you say that. Ladies, you want your husbands to change? Guess what? You change. You need to change. You need to renew your mind and ask God to help you change. It's really easy for us to point each other's faults. No. It's your fault. It's his fault. Change in the way that you are respecting your husband. Change in the way that you are treating your husband. If you want things to change, you need to change. Ladies, say this out loud with me. I need to change. A marriage that glorifies God loves unconditionally by speaking, doing, and changing. That's my prayer for 2025. That all the marriages that call Grace Bible Church their home, that they do a reset, that they revive their marriage, that change their marriage so that their marriages could glorify God more and more and more. How? When you think of something nice, you say it. When you think of something special, you do it. If you want things to change, change it. So let the reset begin today. Let the reset in our marriage begin right now. Here's what I want you guys to do. All of the married couples that are present here this morning, will you guys please stand up? It's okay. Don't be embarrassed. First of all, I want to say thank you for being here together, for worshiping together, for praising God together. Thank you guys so much. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to turn and look at each other. Hold hands, look at each other in the eyes. I know for some of you who haven't done this since your marriage, a little awkward, I get it. Men, I'm going to ask you to first repeat after me. Starts with you. Say this. I am sorry. I am sorry for not loving you unconditionally. Starting today, I'm going to change. Starting today, I will love you unconditionally. And before God and my church, I promise to love you with my words. I promise to love you with my thoughts. And I promise to love you with my actions. All right, ladies, your turn. Repeat after me. I am sorry. I'm sorry for not respecting you unconditionally. Starting today, I'm going to change. Starting today, I will respect you unconditionally. Before God and my church, I promise to respect you with my words. I promise to respect you with my thoughts. I promise to respect you with my actions. Now you guys can kiss one another. Excuse me. You guys may be seated. Let the reset begin today, huh? Let it begin today. I pray that as a church, as Grace Bible Church, we are an example of what a godly marriage should look like to a community that so desperately needs to see an example of what a godly marriage looks like. Now, having said that, I know, because I know there's many marriages in our church body that are going through some struggles right now. I know. Let me say this, there's marriage counseling. That's what a church body does. There's marriage counseling. There's nothing wrong with marriage counseling. I think it's one of the best things a marriage could do is to go to counseling. We have marriage ministry called Reengage. I encourage you to sign up for Reengage no matter where you are in your marriage. It begins in February. Because I really want, because it's something very passionate to me. I really want our marriages to blossom. Because I know the enemy wants to destroy every single marriage. But it won't. It will not. Let's pray. Father God, we come before you to give you thanks and praise. And that is our prayer today, that these words that we heard today, they're not just words, that we put them into action. This last segment of the sermon today, where we promised one another what we're going to do in front of you and in front of our church family, that promise is put into action, not for 1 week, but till death do us part. Father, I know that there's some marriages struggling here. I know it. But Father, I also know that your word says that nothing is impossible with you. And you want marriages to succeed. That is your will. So let your will be done in our marriages, that we can be an example to what a marriage should look like, a marriage that glorifies you. And I pray all these things in your Son's name. Amen.